At 8 a.m., let's get right to some breaking news. Right now, there are level 1, 2, and 3 evacuations in place right now for a wildfire burning near Wenatchee. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office has issued more evacuations north of the city just within the last hour. The Sheriff's Office posted on Facebook saying that the current conditions do present a specific and immediate threat to life and safety. There is now a Red Cross shelter for evacuees that has been set up at the Wenatchee Seventh-day Adventist Church. Right now, this is a look at the map right now. That red shaded area on your screen, that's where those level 3 go now evacuations are in place. Of course, we are working incredibly hard to gather more information for you. We'll continue tracking the evacuations and the condition of this fire all morning long here on Up with KREM. Well, now let's get a look at the forecast with meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Weather Center, because Thomas, the weather is not helping these fire conditions.
Yeah, it's going to be incredibly hot for the next several days here. And while the winds might not be at their peak that we've seen, say, recently during red flag warnings, heat this high can definitely just scorch the earth, just suck all and any moisture right out of the grass and any of the vegetation. So this is going to be an incredibly hot stretch of weather. And excessive heat warnings go into effect for most of the region beginning tomorrow and lasting through next Friday. That's July 12th. So it is a 7-day long alert in terms of the warnings and advisories for the region. Today, we're just ramping up into that heat wave with an expected high temperature 92 degrees. That on its own would be the hottest day of the year so far, but it just gets even hotter than that through the rest of the forecast. Right now, we are at 70 degrees with sunny skies, with expecting 90-degree temperatures this afternoon.
Now, in anticipation of this weekend's heat, the city of Spokane is opening shelters to help people stay cool. The Central Library will be extending its hours on Saturday and on Sunday to be open from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. People can also seek relief at the Trent Avenue Resource Center as well. There will be fans, water, and snacks on site during this heat wave. And STA is also offering free rides once the temperatures are 95 degrees and above. Now, the high temperatures expected this weekend and well into next week can be incredibly dangerous if you're not careful. So here are some hacks to stay cool this week. First, close your blinds and your curtains during the day. That will help keep your home cooler. The U.S. Department of Energy says 76% of the sunlight that hits a standard double window pane turns into heat. And in cases of extreme heat, you can also put aluminum foil covered cardboard over your windows to reflect the sun's rays and keep some of that heat out. Another tip, if you are having trouble cooling down, use an ice pack on your pulse points. That's where your blood vessels are closer to your skin surface. The Columbia's Climate School is recommending doing this on your neck, your wrists, elbows, feet, thighs, temples, and forehead. Now, if you don't have an ice pack, you can always just put a washcloth in the freezer. Now, as this heat wave settles in and continues, making sure that you're limiting your time outdoors is also important. But if you have to be outside, there are some ways that you can protect yourself. So this morning, our Brandon T. Jones is sharing some tips we can all use to staying cool during this hot weather, especially when we're outside. Good morning, Brandon.
Yeah, good morning, Channing. And the first thing you think of when you hear about all of these hot temperatures that will be here in the region for over a week is staying properly hydrated. You want to make sure you're drinking your water. And so what exactly does proper hydration look like? Well, according to the CDC, they say if you plan on spending 1 hour outside, you should also go ahead and plan on drinking 1 to 2 bottles of water. That means if you work outside or have lengthy outdoor plans, prepare to drink at least 8 bottles of water for an 8-hour day. Of course, that hydration is important because when we get a heat wave like this, that increases the risk of heat exhaustion, illness, and heat stroke. All of those can sneak up on the healthiest of adults and children. So watch for signs like cramps, headaches, excessive sweat, getting dizzy, and losing consciousness. If you get any of those symptoms, especially fainting, you could have heat stroke and you need to call 911 right away. So it is going to be hot for several days. Again, making sure you have proper hydration. When you're outside, try to find cool places to escape some of that sunshine and heat. And then also make sure you're using your sunscreen. But for now, reporting live here in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
At 8:05, it's time now for your morning rush. More news in less time. Washington native and 4-star basketball recruit Davis Fogel says he is committing to Gonzaga. Fogel is an ESPN top 50 recruit for the class of 2025. He's now spending his senior year at a prep school in Arizona, but Fogel was considered one of the top 2 juniors in Washington State in basketball. He averaged 31 points and 10 rebounds per game last season. Tomorrow is the first free movie at the Pavilion of the Summer, so you can bring your lawn chair or your picnic blanket and enjoy the Barbie movie tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Now, a heads up, the movie could start a little later depending upon when the sun goes down. Bringing food and drinks is encouraged, though. Just remember, no alcohol is allowed. Spokane's longest running automotive swap meet is in town this weekend. All cars, trucks, motorcycles, and more will be at the 53rd annual all-wheel swap meet. The event runs tomorrow from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Spokane Fair and Expo Center. It's $20 for the driver and one passenger for the entire day. And that's a look at your morning rush. This morning, President Biden's campaign is releasing new details of a plan that's aimed at gaining more voter support. It includes what the campaign is calling an aggressive travel schedule and a multi-million-dollar campaign ad blitz. This comes as the number of Democrats calling for his withdrawal from the race continues to grow. CBS's Leah Mishkin
Today
is
marks a pivotal 24 hours for President Joe Biden as he returns to the campaign trail in battleground Wisconsin and sits down for his first television interview since last week's poor debate performance. The president and his running mate, Vice President Kamala Harris, showed a united front on July 4th at the White House. Earlier, the commander-in-chief said this at a barbecue for American service members.
You got me, man. I'm not going anywhere. All right.
This morning, the Biden-Harris campaign has released a new plan, which includes $50 million in campaign ads that are scheduled to air during the Republican National Convention and the Olympics later this month, and an aggressive travel schedule to each battleground state. But calls for President Biden to bow out of the race are growing.
Now is the time for him to follow in one of our founding fathers, George Washington's footsteps, and step aside to let new leaders rise up and run against Donald Trump.
California's Gavin Newsom is one of several Democratic governors to voice support for Biden after meeting with him Wednesday night.
I believe in this man. I believe in his character.
According to meeting attendees, the president told the governors that he plans to curtail events after 8 p.m. and get more sleep. President Biden plans to continue his public blitz this weekend with a campaign event in Pennsylvania. Leah Mishkin, CBS News.
All right, for those of you heading to work this morning, good news, I-90 is running along pretty smoothly right now. This is a look at 90 and Sullivan at this time. You can see not a lot of cars out on the road, even though it is after 8 in the morning. No surprise, though, a lot of people probably took off the day to enjoy the 4th of July holiday with friends and family. We'll keep you updated, though, on any traffic changes here on Up with KREM. And coming up later in the show, we'll tell you about when are the best and worst times to hit the road this weekend.